All right, so we're going to do a lesson together, variables on both sides of the equation. So we're going to look at a real life problem because remember, what is the purpose? Why are we doing this, right? The goal is how we can use algebra to solve real life problems. So let's take a look at a real life problem and see how algebra can help us solve it. So Bailey works at a grocery store, and each month she deposits part of her paycheck into her savings account and the rest into her checking account. Right now, Bailey has $1,500 in her savings account. Nice job, Bailey. And she deposits another $80 each month. In her checking account, she has $120 and she deposits another $425 each month into her checking account. How many months will it take for Bailey to have the same amount of money in both accounts? We're not going to solve that right now. We're going to let that sit off to the side, and we're going to go and look at some algebra with variables on both sides of the equation, do some practice, and then come back and solve this problem. So let's do some practice right here with just an equation where they have variables on both sides of the equation. So I'm going to write it a little bigger, right? I like to see it a little bigger. Don't talk about my handwriting. Right? And so we have the 5 and the 13, we got the 7a and the 4a, and they're on the two sides of the equal sign. So we can't use our who's having the party because no one's alone, right? But we want to get the a all alone. How do we do that? We'll start with the 7a and the 4a because they both have an a, and we want to take care of the variable first. We decide who's going to have the party, 7a or 4a. Well, 7 is bigger than 4, has more resources, has more money to throw a party. So 7a is going to throw the party. 4a is going to come to the party. Remember, 4a has the little magic plus sign in front of it. So to move it, we're going to move it with a minus sign, right? And we're going to do some math. 5 is still in the house, so we're going to keep the 5. And then 7 take away 4 is a positive 3a. 4 went to the party, but this minus 13 is still in the house. Now we're back to what we did before last week, right? Who's having the party? Well, negative 13 is all by itself, so it's going to have the party. And who's coming to the party is the 5. There's nothing in front of the 5, so we know there's a little magic plus sign. In order to move it, we hit -5 on both sides. 5 gets to go to the party. 3a stays in the house. Here, you can use a calculator, negative 13 minus 5, or we can tell a story, right? We can say, we're going to the store. I want to buy a nice t-shirt that costs $13, and I want to buy a pair of socks that cost $5. I need to know how much money am I going to need to bring to buy those things. Well, I need, so that's my negative sign, $18 to have enough money to buy that. Now let's get back to the problem. 3a equals negative 18. What's the opposite math of 3a? Well, that's multiplication. So we're going to use division to solve it. 3 gets to go to the party. A is all by itself. There's one negative, so you got to what? Keep it. 18 divided by 3 is 6. A equals -6 is the solution. I can check, right? It says check your solution to make sure you're right. We can substitute that -6 into the problem. So I can do 5 plus 7 times -6, right? Instead of A, it's -6. I can do order of operations. So multiplication first, player 1. 7 times -6 is -42. The 5 is still there. Can 5 really take away 42? It cannot. So I put a negative sign and then I go backwards. What's 42 take away 5? 37. I can take this -6 and put it in this problem. 4 times -6 minus 13. 4 times -6, because you do the multiplication first, is -24 minus 13. Again, I can put that into the calculator, or I could tell a story. I want to buy something that's cost 24 and I want to buy something that costs 13. How much money will I need? I'll need $37. Well, look at that. Negative 37 equals negative 37. Is that true? It is true. So this is the right solution. What if I got negative 45 equals positive 38? Would that be true? It wouldn't. It means I made a mistake somewhere. Go back and fix the problem. Let's try another one. I have 16 minus 2t equals 5t plus 9. I'm going to deal with the t's first, the variables first. I got a minus 2 and a positive 5. The positive number, no matter what, is always going to win out and throw the party. So I have 5t. The minus 2t wants to come to the party. What's the opposite of minus? Plus 2t. Right? So the 2t goes to the party. 16 is still here. Do the math. 5 plus 2 is 7t. The plus 9 didn't go anywhere, so I got to keep it. Now I'm back to my old story of the party. 16 is by itself. It's going to have the party. 9 is going to come over because it has no t. So the opposite of plus is minus. 16 take away 9 is 7. Over here, 9 went to the party. 7t is still there. What's the opposite math of 7t? Well, that's multiplication. So I need division. 7 divided by 7 is 1. So t equals 1. How do I know that's true? If I stick 1 back in here, 2 times 1 is 2. 16 take away 2 is 14. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 plus 9 is also 14. That's true. 14 does equal 14. So t equals 1 is correct. Now, go ahead and you try it. Try solving equations with variables on both sides, right? I'm going to go ahead and ask Miss E to pause the video to allow for some practice. What Miss E is going to do is wait until she sees you can work with a partner or on your own, but figure out the answers to 1, 2, and 3. And then once you figure it out and Miss E sees that all your answers are correct, then she will start the video, and then, or if she thinks it's ready, you can see how we do the problems. So go ahead, pause the video. All right. All right, welcome back. So let's try the problems out. All right, so I don't have a lot of space. I'm gonna have to work across, but you should be good now. 5x is gonna have the party. 3x is gonna come. There's a little secret plus sign. So I'm gonna minus 3x. 5 take away 3 is 2x. The plus 9 is still there. Equals 3x went to the party. Minus 7 is there. Now I'm back to my old story. Negative 7 is going to have the party. 9 is going to come. Plus the opposite is minus. 2x stays. Here's my story. I'm going to buy a cheesesteak for my brother. That costs $7. I'm going to buy a cheesesteak hoagie. That's for my son. That's cost $9. How much money do I need to buy both sandwiches? I need $16. That's where the negative 16 comes from. The opposite of multiplication is division. The 2 gets to go. X has to stay home. 1 negative, we got to keep it. 16 divided by 2 is 8. Right? So I can put that negative 8 into this and solve it, but I know I'm right. So x equals negative 8. I hope you got that. Let's try this next problem. So the 6x is more. I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides. All right, 2x leaves. 13 is still there. 6 take away 2 is 4x. This minus 31 is still hanging around. Right now, 13 is going to have the party, and we're going to add 31 to both sides. Right, that's 44. The 31 went to the party. The 4x is still here. That's multiplication. To solve it, I'm going to divide. X is going to be by itself. 44 divided by 4 is 11. So I got x equals 11 for number 2. All right, let's see. I hope you're getting those right. Last one. 4x plus 17 equals negative 9x minus 9. Start with the x's. The positive number always wins. So 4x gets to have the party. Negative 9 becomes plus 9 on both sides. Plus 9x, plus 9x. 4 plus 9 is 13. X plus 17 is still hanging around. Equals the 9x went to the party, but this minus 9 is still hanging around. All right, now we know minus 9 is having the party because it's all by itself. 17 doesn't have an x, so it's going to go to the party by doing the opposite math of addition is subtraction. 17 went to the party, 13x stayed home. Two negative numbers, so let me see. Here's my story. I'm gonna buy, let's see, I need some notebook paper. I'm gonna spend $9 on notebook paper. I'm gonna buy one of those nice binders. That's gonna cost me $17. How much do I need altogether to buy the binder and the paper? I'm gonna need $26. Or I could have just used a calculator, but I like to tell the story so it makes sense to me. What's the opposite of multiplication? Division. 13 goes to the party, x stays home, 1 negative, you got to keep it. 26 divided by 13 is 2. X equals negative 2. So I hope you got all those answers. All right. So let's go back to a real life problem and use what we just learned to see if we can solve it. So let's remember, Bailey has a savings account and she has a checking account. Right? In her savings account, she starts off with $1,500. Plus, she puts $80 per month. But we don't know how many months that's going to be. So I'm just going to use an X. In her checking account, she has $120. Plus, she puts $425 every month. Again, I don't know how many months, so that's why I'm going to put the X. We got X's on both sides. Who's got more resources? Well, 425 is definitely more than 80. So 425 is going to have the party. 80 is plus to get rid of it, take it to the party. We're going to subtract. Right? 80 goes to the party. Who's left? 1,500. The 120 we haven't done anything with, so it stays. 425 minus 80. I know it's going to be plus. Let me subtract. 5 take away 0 is 5. Got to borrow from the 4. 12 take away 8 is 4. 3 drops down. 345x. I could have used a calculator, but I like to practice my math whenever I get a chance. Regular party, 1,500 is going to have the party. 120 is coming. It's a little magic plus sign in front of it. So I'm going to minus 120. 120 went to the party. 3, 4, 5x is still home. 1,500 minus 120. Geez, zeros. That becomes borrow. That becomes 14. 10 take away 2 is 8. 14 take away 1 is 13. 1380. This is multiplication. I'm going to use division to find x. Divide by 345. I'm going to pull out a calculator. I'm going to do some division. 345 is gone. X equals 1380 divided by 345 is 4 months, right? It's going to take her 4 months to save up the money. Oh, you want to know how much money she saved up? Well, I can put the 4 into one of the problems. Let's do this one. 4 times 80 is 320. 320 plus 15, she'll have 1820. In 4 months, she'll have 1,820 in the savings and 1,820 in her checking. So she's doing a nice job. Maybe she wants to buy a car. Maybe she wants to move out. It's real life problems. How do we use algebra to solve real life problems? All right, so there's a go to Google Classroom. You got actually 2 activities. You got a practice activity using a practice set. And then once you know you can do all those, go ahead and move to the boom cards. All right, let's see how you do.